Hello, welcome again to Is It Worth the Shelf? I am your host, Anton York, and today I'll be talking about the movie Alien Covenant. Now, to get straight to the point of whether this movie is worth the shelf or not, is it worth the shelf? Is it worth the spot on my movie shelf? That question is an answer to, well, whether or not there's going to be an extended edition or not. Because currently I believe it's not worthy of being on my shelf because there are many missing scenes from the movie that were shown in the trailer, and I want answers as to why those scenes were not in the movie, and why during watching the movie it felt so rushed, and why I felt many things were cut out to cut down. I feel again the studio might it might have been the studio, I don't know, something might have happened in the storyboarding or whatever. But again, I'm going to poke my finger at the studio. Alas, that's just what I do. But I'm going to poke my finger at the studio for taking a few of the scenes, running away, and leaving us with the mess that is this movie. And it truly feels like a lot of it was just cut out. And that's not good for your movie, because then no one really knows what's going on. I was able to follow through it mostly. Some of it doesn't make any sense, but again, this is Ridley Scott, and this guy also directed Prometheus, and that's a movie that I really enjoy. To others' chagrin, I do enjoy that movie a lot. And it's sort of how I enjoy the movie, because it sort of forces me to look through it with a critical eye. I don't usually do that, but if the movie is really asking me to do so, I will look at the movie through a very critical outlook. Now, this movie was asking me to do that here, but there wasn't enough material in said movie to allow me to do so. So again, pointing my finger at the studio, they probably took some scenes, ran away with it, and we were left with this movie that seems to be going too fast and not enough time for character building, because I couldn't feel emotion for any of the characters because the movie just sped through it all, and I couldn't feel any emotion to it. Now, on the question is this a good movie? Depends. As of right now, I would say it's not the best movie in the world, it's not the greatest, it's not the worst. It's like average. The xenomorphs look amazing. The story was okay, but again, it feels like there's a lot of scenes missing, which there more than likely are. But to the question of is it a good movie, that sort of depends on your outlook of movies that are of this type, where you are forced to look through it at a critical eye. Now, some movies succeed in this, like Arrival did, but other movies don't really succeed in this because of, again, maybe the studio or maybe issues with the rest of the casting and other stuff that goes into making movies. Like with director and then storyboard like stuff that happens and people just like argue and crap. This is how it works. Stuff happens, shit happens, and then movies get ruined because that shit happens. So there you go. We'll have to live with it. But what I will say about the movie is that it's not the worst. It's more like average for me. And it's not like Prometheus, where I really enjoyed Prometheus, and the horror thing where it sort of compelled me to watch it again and review it. And it was a very enjoyable movie for me to watch it again. I wanted to watch it again multiple times. I watched the extended edition, extended cuts, and all that, the extra scenes. I watched it many times, trying to understand like what it was, the story, and everything was trying to go. And I love movies that sort of do that. Alien Covenant tries to do this, and ultimately kind of fails. Will I buy the movie? More than likely not. Is it worth a spot on my shelf? Probably not at this point. It's definitely not worth the shelf at this point. It's average. I don't feel like I would enjoy a second viewing or maybe a third or a fourth. It was the first viewing. It was average. I enjoyed it a bit and was left confused and dazed a few times and didn't know what was going on because a lot of the scenes were going and big emotional events. I couldn't really feel emotion in them because again the movie felt like it went by too fast. So will I buy it and put this on my shelf? No. Not until maybe an extended edition or a definitive cut where these scenes that were cut out, hopefully by the studio so they can send out a definitive edition with more scenes so I can watch that, understand it a bit more, and then let you know if the extended edition is worth your time or worth a spot on your shelf. So as of right now, no, it is not. And that is my answer to the only important question I have about movies. Is it worth my shelf, and will I be able to watch it a second time? There's the answer. Not right now. Not until there's a definitive edition and I can see that and rent it, and if it's good enough, I'll buy it. If it's good enough worth my shelf, I will buy it. But until then, I must be patient until then. So yep. Thank you for watching. This has been me talking about Alien Covenant. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.